Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
So Gary Sanchez going to pinch hit for Higashioka. Sanchez has been red hot.
Garrett Cole hasn't had a lot of runs to work with once again in one of his starts.
That one's hit deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A pinch hit. Two-run home run for Gary Sanchez. And the Yankees lead 3-2.
There's getting all of it, and then there's that. Just wait for the Gary chance to stop in Buffalo.
A look at downtown Buffalo, the temporary home of the Toronto Blue Jays, where tonight it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the final game of a three-game set from Sahlen Field in Buffalo, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with David Cohn, I'm Michael Kay. Gary Sanchez didn't start last night with Garrett Cole on the mound, but with the Yankees trailing late, Aaron Boone asked Gary Sanchez to pinch hit. Boy, did he come through.
Well, he did. That's how you make your manager look good. And really, is there anybody else you'd rather see in the batter's box right now than Gary Sanchez, as he's been swinging the bat so exceptionally well as of late? And you sort of are starting to expect these kind of swings all the time from Gary. You haven't seen this since 2017 when he broke in with a bang. But now, he's hit 4 home runs over his last 6 games, now has 10 home runs on the year. And you know, when you need a pinch hitter, is there somebody better than Gary Sanchez to call on right now on that Yankee bench? How about that one? That put the Yankees in the lead, a moonshot 449 feet away, and it counted. It lit up the Yankee bench and gave Garrett Cole a much-needed win.
Look at the numbers over the last 16 games. All of them jump out at you now. It's the highest average on-base percentage and slugging percentage in a 16-game span for Sanchez since August of 2017. Yankees have had 9 previous opportunities to sweep a series, and they're 2-7, so they haven't gotten it done. They'll try to get it done tonight. Michael King's on the mound. David, as a reliever, he has flashed some brilliance, but as a starter, not so much.
Yeah, you know, that's part of the learning curve for young pitchers, to learn how to start a game in the first inning. A lot of his problems have come right out of the gate, so that's something to watch tonight. The Blue Jays have a young pitcher going as well, and we've noted their bullpen has struggled. So if Mike King can get out of the gate and throw a good first inning, maybe he can settle down and give the Yankees a chance to score first.
Well, the Yankee offense has really started to click. Everybody up and down the lineup starting to hit. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees Blue Jays next, right here on Yes. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by FanDuel. More ways to win. By Cadillac. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer and experience the ultimate in iconic luxury. And by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. As we get ready for Game 3 of this three-game set, we'll take a look at the keys to the game brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, anytime you play the Blue Jays, you got to do it one more time, and that's in regards to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's only 2 for 8 in the series. Can they shut him down one more time and get out of Dodge? And decided by the bullpens, yeah, a couple of young starters. The Blue Jays bullpen has struggled. If you're the Yankees, you want to get early and often on the scoreboard and get into that pen, and then going for the sweeps. Michael, you talked about it. The Yankees are 2-7 going for sweeps. They've left some meat on the bone in the series.
Yeah, they've only swept the Tigers and the White Sox. So a chance to do that, and then you just wing it home from Buffalo and you start a homestand against the A's tomorrow, reopening day at Yankee Stadium, and the Athletics against the Yankees. So that would be a good way to start a homestand. All right, let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup tonight, brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. LeMahieu, Judge, and Torres up top. Then it's Stanton, Sanchez, and Urshela. 9 extra base hits in April and May for Gary. 8 extra base hits in June. Boy, things have really, really turned. The bottom of the order, the difference there is Tyler Wade gets to start at second base instead of Rougned Odor.
TJ Zeuch on the mound, and you can see just got called up today from Buffalo to Buffalo, ironically. AAA team, and this will be his 3rd start. Not a lot of work there, but notice the 5 home runs in the 12 innings given up. That could be a key to this game. I'll give you the little scouting report. As we said, from Buffalo to Buffalo, called up for Steven Matz. He's pitching in his spot. Steven Matz, a former Mets, is on the COVID IL, and 7 out of 13, 13th major league game, and 7 of them are against the Yankees. So they've seen this guy before, and sinker slider guy, a lot of ground balls. He's not overpowering, former #1 pick for the Blue Jays, but he's looking to keep the ball on the ground, not an overpowering pitcher.
All right, let's check out the defense behind Zeuch, and it's presented by Geico. A little different. You have Espinal at third. Joe Panik was there yesterday. Tellez is at first. Guerrero was there yesterday. Guerrero's the DH. McGuire still behind the plate. Zeuch is on the mound. Let's check out game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. A little warmer than last night, 71 degrees, humidity 39%, the wind 9 miles per hour. Why don't we check out the umpires in the game? Chad Fairchild behind the plate. Kerwin Danley is at first. Adam Hamari at second, and C.B. Buckner is over third. The crew chief is Kerwin Danley. All the clerical work out of the way. LeMahieu is ready. Zeuch is ready. Let's do it in Buffalo. First pitch is a strike. We're underway. They held DJ hitless last night in the game the Yankees won 3-2. That one's dribbled slowly up the third baseline. It stays fair. It's a hit. It's a foul ball, and Zeuch grabbed it quickly.
Had to wait a long time tonight, Michael, for the Blue Jays to put their lineup out.
Ridiculous.
I mean, one of the later lineups I think we've seen in recent memory.
I mean, some managers play games like that, little gamesmanship. I don't think it was that. It was weird. I don't think we got the lineup, what, till 6:45?
Might have had something to do with Kevin Biggio, trying to figure out whether he could go or not.
The 0-2. Just got a piece to stay alive. And the 0-2. That one's chopped to short. Bichette. One away. Yankees are 35-32. The Blue Jays are even at 33-33. These 2 wins by the Yankees move them ahead of the Blue Jays in the American League East. You take it 1 game at a time and start winning games against your division rivals, something the Yankees hadn't done except against the Orioles. Here is Aaron Judge. Chopped. Third base. Charging Espinal. And that throw was right into the runner. Judge is safe, and Tellez could have broken his arm as he reached in for the throw.
I've seen a couple of plays like this series, and you are correct, Michael. See Tellez, boy, he bailed out just in time. And, you know, if you're a first baseman and this guy's coming at you at 6'7" and 280, well, you're going to shy out of the way as the glove is knocked off his hand.
They give him a base hit. You know, we noted yesterday, last night's third baseman, Joe Panik, committed an error and was shown up on the field by the starter, Ross Stripling, who made a point on social media, apologized profusely, say he was wrong, he was embarrassed by what he did, and he promises to never do it again.
And right after the game, too.
Yep.
He also said he had a team meeting, addressed the entire team.
As Torres goes down on strikes. Now, one of the reasons the lineup could have been late is Teoscar Hernandez was placed on the paternity leave, and Jared Hoying activated from Buffalo, so that could be why it was late.
See the two-seam spin. That is what Zoik features. Down and in. Excellent movement.
So here's Stanton. Oh and 1. Pushes it outside with the slider, 1 and 1.
Gotta go back to the 2016 draft when TJ Zoik was the #1 pick by the Blue Jays. Overall, number 21 in that particular draft.
"25 years old, third big league season. He's from Mason, Ohio, which is right outside Cincinnati. 3 and 1 on Stanton. Swing and a miss. Good slider, 3 and 2. So that's going to release Judge at first. 2 men out, 3-2 count. Pitch inside, so Stanton works a walk, and that'll bring up the red-hot Gary Sanchez. And that leads us to the Home Depot getting more done. He's been getting more done lately. Started off the season slowly, had a nightmarish season last year. So hit 147, now he's up to 228. This is in 49 games, so it matches up perfectly. And the Babbitt batting average of balls in play, it's 279 this year. Last year was 159.
Tells a story, doesn't it? The old luck factor is turning around for him this year.
Oh and 1. Dramatic pinch hit home run last night. He didn't get the start against Higashi or against Cole, catching Cole as Higashioka did. but pinch hit for Higashioka when Boone saw a chance to take a lead, and boy, did he deliver. You know, Boone was pressed about, would you think about starting Sanchez with Cole after the game? And he said, listen, I like the way it is right now. He said Higashioka does a good job. He actually does a good job with the bat. And, you know, I can't catch Gary 5-6 days in a row anyway. So if you know the one day that he'll rest, that'll be the day he rests. But that doesn't mean I won't do it.
Especially in a big series. On down the stretch run here. The Yankees get to the postseason. Be something to follow.
First and second, Judge at second, Stanton's at first, 0-2 count on Sanchez. Well, the last time we had a personal catcher situation this strict was in 2009. And you know what? They did it in the postseason as well. That's A.J. Burnett did not feel comfortable pitching to Posada, so that's not who they went with.
Of course, Jose Molina comes from a long line of a catching family there, like the Flying Wolendas, the Flying Molinas.
Grounded and grabbed by Espinal. He goes a short way, and that will do it in the first. Yankees no runs a hit and 2 men left. Yankees nothing. Blue Jays coming to bat. Let's take a look at their starting lineup, brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. This one is hot off the presses. Kevin Biggio is in right field. He's batting 5th in a very good offensive lineup. Last 6 games off the IL, Biggio has certainly not lost any ground. 412, 3 home runs, 4 ribbies, and a high slugging percentage. Espinal's at 3rd, and Reese McGuire's behind the plate.
And Michael King on the mound in Buffalo, going to try to go for the sweep. Finishing up his warm-up tosses. You can see in 10 games, 3 starts. This will be his 4th start. Looking for that first win. Overall, numbers are pretty solid, but the scout report will give you a little more detail. And that first inning, we talked about it before. You know, I'm wearing out this expression of get out of the gate, but for a young starter, getting off to a good start, translating from your bullpen warm-up to the game mound is a big deal. He's been good out of relief in 2 good games out of the bullpen against the Blue Jays. He's allowed only 1 run in 9 innings, and more sinkers. His 52% usage rate is 7th highest in the AL. Minimum 500 pitches.
Well, let's take a look at the defense behind him. In the outfield, it's presented by Geico and Duhart, Gardner, and Judge. Infield, Urshela, Torres, Wade, and LeMahieu. Sanchez behind the plate. King is on the mound. So Marcus Semien will start it off. Connected for a home run in the first inning against Cole last night. 2-1.
A really good 2-0 pitch there to a fastball hitter who's been hot lately.
The 2-1. 3-1. They've always liked King. It's just a matter of keeping it together and being comfortable as a starter, as comfortable he was coming out of the bullpen. 3-1. Pretty good pitch. Check swing. Ball 4.
We've kind of seen it with Jamison Tyone too, as we're going to look at this sinker with excellent action just below the zone. As Semien looks at it, he's going to take the walk. It's when they do get ahead, they have a hard time putting away hitters. It's kind of that finish pitch that both of those pitchers are looking for.
So here's Bichette. Grounded right side, and it will squeak through into the outfield grass. Wade has no play, but he does keep Semien at second base. A base hit for Bichette.
We always talk about Bichette and the big coil and all the action from the ground up with his swing. He's definitely trying to hit the hole over here. And that's no small play by Wade there to keep it at first and second there, because Semien can walk to third if that gets by.
Checking the outfielders where they're playing. And here's Vlad Guerrero. He's DHing tonight. And Michael Brantley has moved ahead of Guerrero now in the American League batting race, 344 to 343. Yankees have held down Guerrero pretty well in this series. And that one gets away from Sanchez, and the runners will move up.
Oh, Gary's setting up inside, and this is yanked, a two-seamer. You see the chalk fly from the batter's box on a fastball. There's no way to get over and block that. You can't put that on Gary. That's the only thing he can do is try to glove it on the backhand.
Well, this is the situation Chapman was in the ninth inning, second and third, nobody out. He got out of it. Let's see, how King does. Now, the Yankees play the infield back here. They brought it in last night with a one-run lead in the bottom of the ninth. Two and 0 on Vlad. Well, this is a look at King's arsenal on StatCast Google Cloud. 52% sinkers. Then cutters his second pitch, changeups his third.
I think he needs to use his curveball more, only a little under 4%. I've been impressed the times he's been able to use that.
Well, Guerrero surprisingly taking all the way there and got a fastball down the middle, 3-1. .97 miles an hour, and the count 3-2. So a nice comeback to this point. It's full.
Yeah, we've seen him, his range be from the low 90s up to the mid to upper 90s at times. His ball moves all over the place, and you can see in the first inning he's trying to find the radar.
Still 3-2.
You know, when you're a pitcher trying to be a starter, as a young guy trying to establish yourself, and you're a two-seam pitcher, Michael, it's hard to find, you know, where's my aim point? Where do I start this pitch in order to get it to the outside corner? You can see him kind of fighting his release point just a bit up to this point.
He steps off.
Part of it is just finding your slot and your release point. Part of it is emotional, the excitement, learning how to start off a game.
Three-two. Fouled away. Guerrero with 22 home runs and 56 ribbies. He sees runners on second and third, nobody out. That's how he makes his living, driving in runs, and a big challenge for King. Chop slowly. Oh, there's a situation at third. The throw is to first. Now they'll throw to second. Runners are hung up. They're going to come home with the throw. They have Simeon in a rundown. He's tagged out. Throw to third. It's a triple play. They pulled a triple play. Second one of the year, and this one falls under the heading of funky.
We talked about all the outs on bases that the Yankees have made this year. Well, how about this? The worm has turned. This is unbelievably bad base running all the way around for the Blue Jays. And Gio with a nifty little wheel and deal there to finish off this triple play at the end. Look at that play. Underrated play. Boy, they're going to get another look at that. That was close.
He might have been in there.
It's worth another look, but Gio nonetheless with a really nice play right there to even make this play. Glaber right where he's supposed to be. Bichette thinks he's safe.
Is there enough there to overturn? That's the question. Well, the thing started to unravel when Simeon took off and then stopped.
Exactly. That was the first mistake.
Bit of a tough stretch for Charlie Montoyo. He's hoping that this gets overturned.
That look tells you all you need to know right there. You want to be a big league manager? Get one more look here. Michael King with a great comeback against the hottest hitter in the American League. Does his job, gets the first out, looks him back. At that point, Michael King had no idea what was going on at second.
And it is a triple play. Second one the Yankees have had this year. The other one was, well, pretty much run of the mill. This one, weird running.
With a great comeback, first of all. Go get the ball, make the play, check the runner at third. There's no way you could check both runners. So he did his job. DJ LeMahieu, good read. Knock him down at second, and now you got him. Bichette's caught in the middle here. Gio Urshela with the wheel and deal at the end really made that play. Excellent pitch. Got the out. And now you got him. Bichette is in trouble.
All right, so if you're keeping score at home, it's a triple play, 1, 3, 2, 5, 6. It's the 26th triple play in Yankee history and the first time they've ever had 2 in one season. 0-2 on Urshela.
It's the first triple play you ever called where you mixed in a funky triple play on it. That was great.
Rip inside third, and that'll go down into the left field corner. Playing it out there is Gurriel, and Urshela picks up a leadoff double.
Well, Gio completed the triple play with a nice little play, and you see the changeup grip from Zoik. And Gio's all over it. The key to this, just fair, right over the bag.
Chopped right side, going to be a tough play. Safe at first is Gardner. Base hit. Urshela moves to third.
Sometimes you play small ball and you get rewarded, as Brett Gardner's trying to get him over. The old get him over, get him in strategy. Well, with Gardner's wheels, he got him over and got a knock. Simeon with the glove flip. Foot hits the bag before the ball hits the glove.
And Duhar fouls it away. So first and third, nobody out. No score, second inning. I guess that missed, 1-1.
Missed because the catcher's setting up in and it's away, and you can see him take his glove, just took it out of the strike zone. TJ Zoik is 6'7" on the mound. I'm sure the Yankees know how quick he is to home plate here. Gardy wants to give Andujar a chance to swing the bat, but I'm sure he's looking for a chance to run here too.
Right back to Zoik, and he throws the ball into center field. Urshela scores. Gardner's going to third. He's in there. And Duhar will reach, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
This is about anticipating the flow of the game, as TJ Zoik knows he made a big faux pas here. You got to know what you're going to do beforehand. The ball's hit back to you. You can't check the runner at third and try to turn the double play. There's not enough time for that. You got to immediately go to second. You can hear the catcher telling 2-2-2. You take 2 outs right there, or you had a chance.
So that is scored in E1. Well, this first inning and a half, not the Blue Jays' proudest moment. They've certainly made their share of mistakes.
The Yankees are seeing the shoe on the other foot. Fundies, fundies, fundies.
There's that look.
Yeah, I mean, the fundamentals. I mean, it just couldn't possibly go worse in this first part of the game for the Blue Jays on the bases and defensively.
Chop the third, and now they have Gardner in a rundown. And they'll make the play at third. Almost blew that one as well, and they finally get an out.
Got to get another look at this. I think that did ricochet off of Brett Gardner. So you got him, nowhere to go as Gardner's on the bag. The ball's right at the third baseman, but Gardner's trying to get in the rundown. The ball did kind of ricochet. Look at Bichette with a fantastic play to save this at the end. Gardner, good job. Stay in it, make something happen, and hit it right in the helmet.
Well, how did he catch that off the helmet?
What a fantastic athletic play by that guy to save an out at the end of it.
There's a strike to LeMahieu.
Still a big spot for the Yankees here. If you can break this open a bit, well, you could really get on top of the Blue Jays.
0-2.
You're trying to sweep. We've talked about this on the Yankee side. They've had opportunities. They've only been able to come through 2 times on a chance to sweep. We know the troubles that the Blue Jays bullpen has had. After what's already happened in this game, if the Yankees can get on it right here, put your foot on the gas pedal, you can really emotionally deal a blow to the Blue Jays.
Now, I know you rely a lot on StatCast, and Jack Curry is claiming they're wrong. The scoring on the triple play, which StatCast has, Jack said they left out a number, and he's standing firm on it. So we'll see if they change it.
Interesting.
Jack's saying it's 136,256. They're saying it's 13256. Jack's usually not wrong.
Well, I like the aggressive base running there as the Yankees had a double steal on. Taking advantage of the Blue Jays kind of having bad fundamentals so far in this game. Miguel Andujar had third stolen there. So I like the aggressive play by the Yankees here.
Outside, 3-2. So do you run now on 3-2 with Andujar at second and Wade at first?
It's just smart baseball. When you see a young pitcher out there and he's struggling, boy, that's when you could really take advantage of him.
Three-two. He walked him, and that loads the bases for Judge.
Bases loaded for Judge. TJ Zoic with 34 pitches already.
Judge had an infield single to third. It was a bad throw by Espinal. big cut, foul ball, 0-1.
It's a good sign. If you come to a ballpark with a sign like that, you should be shown on TV.
The 0-1. Having a hard time corralling that pitch. Well, Judge has had a grand slam this year. That was May 30th against the Orioles. Bases loaded right here with 1 out. 1-1 count against Zoik. Drilled deep to left field. Is it fair? Foul ball. C.B. Buckner with a dramatic foul call.
A lot of action early in this game already.
Wow. Andujar at third, Wade at second, LeMahieu is at first, Judge at the plate. Close, 2-2. Zoik wanted that one.
A really good pitch. This two-seamer running down and in.
Nice block by McGuire. So the count goes full, and again, there is no place to put Aaron Judge.
See him go with the changeup here and just spike it. And you can kind of see, you're right, Michael, it's a good block. He anticipated that ball in the dirt on the off speed, but pitcher kind of in search mode, not knowing which pitch to go to when you do get 2 strikes. How am I going to finish off these hitters? See a lot of bit of uncertainty.
Swing and a miss. A hanging slider. Must have gotten him on a change of speed there.
That's exactly right, Michael. Not the location, it's the speed. As you see Judge open up, kind of fly off of this pitch. And that is a spinning slider. Up in his eyes almost.
So here's Torres. He struck out in the first inning. Base is still loaded, but 2 outs now. And that one's a foul ball.
Now, when you're feeling good about the team's fortunes, this is where you pick up your teammate. If you're Gleyber Torres, you can really pick up Aaron Judge here. That's when you see teams get on a roll.
Oh, 2 on the foul ball.
You mentioned last night Ross Stripling kind of throwing his little fit on the mound. For a pitcher, it's pick up your infielder if he makes an error. Get the next guy out. For a hitter, pick up the guy before you that struck out with the bases loaded. Gleyber down 0-2. See if he goes into protect mode and cuts down that leg kick.
Almost offered at that, but held up, according to Kerwin Danley. So the count 1-2.
Yes, he did, as he held up and also is kind of breaking down his swing, looking for contact.
43 pitches for Zoik. 2 outs into the second. Whoa, just missed. Might have been the same thing you said before, David. He just moved his glove across the plate.
That's exactly right. See his glove take it out of the zone when he catches it and try to jerk it back. He's anticipating that ball to be inside. It ended up outside.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Second inning, 1-0 Yankees, bases loaded. Another 3-2 situation, so you could start the merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 outs.
It's a big deal. Glaber fighting back from 0-2 to 3-2.
The 3-2 pitch. Fastball fouled away. So Zoik challenging him, throwing him the fastball, see if he can hit it.
Frustrating if you're on the mound. Now you got to do it again. And if you're looking over your shoulder, yeah, the bullpen's getting going behind you. Pitchers notice that, believe me.
Keeps checking that card as they keep changing the signs with a runner on second. Ground ball to third. And Zoik gets out of trouble. The Yankees do get a run on 2 hits, 1 error, and the bases are left loaded.
Marakovitz. Michael, you mentioned a few games back that Miguel Andujar said when he was struggling and going through those tough times post-surgery that he really leaned on Gary Sanchez for support and advice. And these two guys have known each other for a very long time. I actually dove into that relationship a little bit for the pregame show. And Andujar told me he remembers seeing Sanchez for the first time. They actually grew up about 15 minutes apart in the Dominican Republic. They trained at the same place prior to getting signed professionally. And Andujar said he was probably about 11 or 12 years old when he went to the field and saw a kid in the cage that looked massive. That kid was Gary Sanchez, who was hitting home runs at about 15, 16 years old. Sanchez 3 years older than Andujar, and that was really the start of their friendship. And it's not very often that you're from about the same town and then you sign with the same professional team and then you reach the highest level together. Andujar said it's been so special over the past couple of weeks to see both of their bats come alive offensively and both of them in the starting lineup. It's very meaningful, not only for them, but for their families.
Great story. Thank you, Meredith. So Sanchez, while he was struggling, was encouraging Andujar. That says a lot about him.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff for Meredith, and you know that story is repeated throughout the Dominican Republic, and all the challenges for those young players to not only get a chance to play professional baseball, to adjust culturally coming over to the States, and having a friend to lean on, having somebody to talk you through the tough times.
Swing and a miss. Grichuk strikes out to start the bottom of the second.
Well, both of these starting pitchers have similar stuff. Two-seam fastballs, diving down and in.
So, David, if a double play is a pitcher's best friend, what's a triple play?
Wife material.
And by the way, Jack Curry, of course, was right. They've switched it. It's a 1-3-6-2-5-6 triple play. And according to Sabres triple play database, that's the first triple play out of 726 all-time with that scoring. The most common one is 5-4-3. And that was the Yankees' first one this year.
Jack Curry's on a roll.
He really is. He predicted Sanchez's home run the pregame yesterday. I mean, you do realize how lucky Bob Lorenz is just to sit back and luxuriate in the genius of Jack.
And Buck Showalter's up there too, so you know you got to get your game face on.
That's a lot of smarts in that room.
Yeah, you better bring it. If Buck shows up in the studio, you better come ready to play.
Lofted into center field. It'll dunk in there for a base hit. Gardner Fields gets the ball in.
Good pitch. Good hitting. Biggio's got that kind of swing. He could get inside a baseball. We saw him go Oppo Taco last night. The ball just carries. He's got some sneaky pop.
Gurriel takes a fastball strike. One 1-0 Yankees, bottom of the second inning. If you tuned in late, boy, you've missed a lot. Missed a triple play to get King out of the first inning. And then a lot of bad luck for the Yankees in the second, and lack of clutch hitting as well, as they don't really cash in a crooked number when they could have in the top of the second inning.
It's a lot of action for a 1-0 game.
Yeah. Ground it. Foul ball.
A little Adams family on the organ there, Michael.
Wonder why. Is there any connection to Gurriel?
Trying to figure that out. I know if the organist plays Three Blind Mice, he's going to get thrown out of the game. We've seen that happen before. If there's ever a controversial call by the umpire, an umpire hears that played by an organist up there, Three Blind Mice, you're gone. You're out of the game.
They'll throw the organist out.
It's happened before, yes.
Not in the big leagues, though, right?
In the minor leagues, I've seen it happen.
Well, we've seen this with Tyone, and we've seen it with King as well. There doesn't seem to be that put-away pitch with 2 strikes, and it makes them work harder and throw more pitches. Ground ball to short. There's 1. There is 2. A nice play by LeMahieu. The keeper's foot on the base long enough to get the throw from Wade. 6-4-3. Yankees get out of it. 1-0. Capacity and New York Yankees single game tickets for all games through Sunday, July 4th. They're on sale right now. Don't miss a great 4-game series against the Angels. See Ohtani, and you definitely want to be at Yankee Stadium 4th of July weekend for the Subway Series clash with the Mets. Visit Yankees.com to purchase tickets. Tickets are going fast, so visit Yankees.com today. And it starts with opening day 2.0 tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Yankees against the A's, and the A's will pitch James Caprillion, a Yankee farmhand who was dealt to Oakland. He's dealt with injuries for a while and now has really pitched well this year. Pitch to Stanton is a strike. Kind of a generous call. Stanton walked in the first inning. Now, Meredith, Stanton did not play in Philadelphia other than a pinch hitting appearance because they didn't want him in the outfield. Is that likely to change at any point this year, Meredith?
Well, Michael, there's a good chance that that could change. Yesterday, he was out in right field getting some reps. He'll continue to do that. As Aaron Boone says, they're trying to build him up. There will be an open dialogue between the organization and Stanton as they move forward. But when Stanton spoke after the game yesterday, he said his goal is to be an option next time the Yankees play a National League team. He doesn't want to be relegated to the bench. He doesn't want to be a bench player in those series. And should the Yankees turn things around and go deep into the postseason, that's a guy that you do not want to be on the bench. So with that in mind, Stanton is going to try to play a little outfield. It looks as though it'll be mostly right field, probably not too much left field. And Aaron Boone noted he could also give Aaron Judge a little bit of a break if they can give him some innings in the outfield where Aaron Judge then could potentially DH.
It makes sense. And if you have just one guy locked into DH, a lot of managers use that DH for half days off, and that's eliminated if Stanton can just DH. So if he can play outfield even a couple of days a week, it makes it a lot easier for Aaron Boone.
And there wouldn't be interleague play again until the end of July, but they're going to continue to build him up. And it is going to take time, Michael, because he has not played a full 9 in the outfield in a very long time. And
he'll want to play in that next National League interleague game because that is in Miami, July 30th. 31st and August 1st, so that's his old stomping ground. I'm sure he'd want to play and not sit on the bench and be a pinch hitter.
Certainly want to play in the Subway Series as well when the Yankees and Mets hook up.
Sanchez fouled that just over the guard.
Gonna need a bigger boat.
High pop-up. Sanchez knows he just missed it, tossed away his bat in disgust as Bichette makes the catch for the first out. And that'll bring up Giovanni Urshela. He doubled in the second. He scored the Yankees' only run. High fly ball, deep left. There it goes. See ya. A home run for Urshela. A 2-run shot. Yankees lead 3-0.
A no-doubter 2-run shot. Gio scored the first run. First closed out the triple play, scored the first run. Got it all started with the double, and now a little cushion with a 2-run shot.
Eighth home run of the year. Now it's 29 ribbies. And that'll bring up Gardner, infield single in the second. They're going to appeal at third. And both base runners obviously touch the bag.
That's all we needed in this game at this point. An appeal play on a homer.
Some barking, I think, from the Blue Jay dugout. And they've already challenged, remember. So all they could do is argue right now. So Gio's 2 for 2 tonight, coming into this game, 1 for his last 17. Oh and 1.
Little spinning slider that stays on the middle half of the plate, and Gio just launches it. Not sure who they would appeal on the play, who they thought missed the bag.
One and 2 on Gardner.
Of course, we did see that play earlier this year for the Pirates when Brian Hayes, Charlie Hayes' son, missed first base on a homer.
You know what bothered me about that call, David? You know, the way it was reported, Brian Hayes missed first base on a home run. Like he didn't know what he was doing. The guy was busting it down the line rather than styling. Didn't know if it would go over the wall, and while he was looking and running hard, he just missed first base. So that was an error of aggression, not a low baseball IQ play.
Yeah, point well taken.
1-2. 2-2.
Whenever you see sinker slider pitchers like we're seeing tonight from both starters, you start seeing hitters bang foul balls off their legs. We've already seen 3 or 4. Sinkers down and in, sliders down and in to lefties.
3-2. And the 3-2 pitch is fouled away. Well, they're certainly having Zoik emptied the tank, 61 pitches with 1 out in the 3rd inning. That's why there's action in the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yeah, the Yankees, it's another example of them winning the early part of this game in more ways than just the scoreboard.
Grounded to Tellez, 2 away.
I heard Buck Showalter talk about that in the pregame show over the last couple of nights, about having energy and winning the first inning, winning the early part of the game. The fact that Zoik has 62 pitches and the Blue Jays bullpen's already been up twice is an example of that.
Here's Andujar, who reached on an E1. That was in the 2nd inning. Slider in there for a strike. Oh, 2.
See him shaking his head there. Well, he had a good pitch to hit. He knows it. Good swing, good pitch to hit.
High fly ball, shallow right field, and coming on is Biggio to make the play. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 1 swing. Just the way they draw it up. Gio Urshela goes yard. A little styling when it lands. It's 3-0 Yanks. Brought to you by Montefiore, doing more. The big free agent signing for the Blue Jays. They tried, and they went after everybody, was George Springer, formerly of the Astros, and they haven't seen him much. 4 big league games this year. On the IL since May 2nd with a right quad strain. And he began his rehab assignment at AAA on Tuesday. He's 2 for 12 in 3 games, a double, a ribby. It'll be interesting to see how they manage him coming back, because the guy who's replaced him has been one of their better players, Randall Grichuk. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's 3-0 Yankees.
These quad injuries are so tough for baseball players. So much standing around and then a quick burst, and that's hard to. It's hard to find out if you're fully healthy unless you actually get into a big league game and get that adrenaline and find out. You got to bust it out of the box or make a play in the outfield. difference between an aerobic sport and an anaerobic sport. Baseball, an anaerobic sport. Kind of hanging, standing, and then a quick burst.
Rounded left side. Nice play by Torres. Sets and fires. Got him. Nice play by Gleyber Torres on a tough hop.
Quietly under the radar. Gleyber Torres is a good shortstop. Had a lot of really nice plays in recent history. That's a big league play right there. Deep in the hole.
Here's Espinal, and there's a strike. First game of the series, Espinal had 3 hits. Last night, he's the one who hit the comebacker to Chapman. And Chapman threw home too quickly, and a great throw by Gary Sanchez to get Vlad Guerrero leaning off of third. It's got to be troubling for the Blue Jays. They have not played a clean series. A lot of blunders that they'd like to clean up. They've got a very good offensive team, but mistakes that just were glaring and have been glaring in this 3-game set.
Yeah, a great young nucleus of players. Trying to make that next step, as you said, Michael. And a team that hasn't seen Canada in 2 years.
Well, they've lost 3 in a row now in 7 of their past 10 games.
I miss Toronto.
It's a great city. Did you like it better when you played there or when you visited there?
Both. You said it right. It's a great city. The Blue Jays are Canada's team.
Yeah, every Blue Jay broadcast is a national broadcast.
They are a sleeping giant right now, and as we said, they have a great young nucleus.
And he was ahead in the count, but he ends up walking Espinal with 1 out. Here is Reese McGuire. Last night's starter and winner in the battery from last night, Cole and Higashioka. Lined, and a fair ball down the right field line. That's going to rattle around in the corner. Digging it out is Judge. Espinal is going to score easily, and McGuire has an RBI double, and the Blue Jays are on the board. Only the 3rd RBI for McGuire.
The minute this ball stays fair, as it's a down sinker over the middle of the plate. You can see where Judge is playing right there. Espinal's going to score. It's automatic with his. I mean, he can walk home from here.
There's a strike to Simeon. Bottom of the third inning is 3-1. Yankees lead, looking for the sweep. They've won the first 2 games. Line drive, a base hit to left field. And Duhar charges. He will hold McGuire at third, so it's a single for Semien. It's first and third. Just one man out.
Well, we've said it before with Semien. You got to be so careful on the inner half of the plate with him. He's so quick. Anything middle in. The ball's on the inside corner, and he still cuts it off and beats him to the pass. Yeah, I would give Semien a steady diet of pitches away. And if you come in on him, you got to push him off the plate. Make sure you miss in.
There's Bo Bichette. First and third, one out. Blue Jays down by 2. King deals. Fastball strike. Low and inside, but hit the corner. A strike, 0-2. So he gets ahead. This is what he did with Espinal and then lost him. Let's see what he does with Bichette. 2 pretty good pitches. Ground ball, this could be 2. There's 1 on to first. Oh, the throw gets away, so that'll allow a run to score. Believe that Semien went in and disrupted Tyler Wade, so that allows a run to score, gets an RBI for Bichette. It would have been an inning-ending double play.
Yes, it would have, and we'll get another look. Another good pitch from King on a tough hitter. And Glaber gets it to Tyler Wade in good shape. Wade just a little too quick with the transfer. You can see that's all on Tyler. He just tried to get rid of it a little too quick and did not get the grip.
Well, Bichette gets down the line in a hurry, so he did know he had to hurry. And the ball came out of his hand in a weird way. Here is Guerrero, but first, a throw to first. Strike to Guerrero. He's got 22 home runs, the most in the major leagues, and these are his home runs thanks to StatCast 3D by Google Cloud. He's used the whole ballpark.
As dangerous as any hitter in the game right now.
Well, he hit into the triple play in the first inning. So that's a solid 0 for 1. Well, looked like Fairchild wanted to call a strike. Kept his arm down.
It's amazing to me, Michael, that he has the complete opposite approach compared to his father. His father's hacking at that pitch right there. His father got a hit on a pitch that bounced one time. Actually bounced before home plate and got a hit.
Grounded to third. Urshela goes the short way, and that will do it. But the Blue Jays pick up 2 runs. Yankees lead 3-2. Brought to you by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Now, tonight's picture was submitted by Tony Correa. He and his wife, Joey, celebrated their third wedding anniversary with a Yankees win at Target Field last week. Married since 2018. I like it. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride and post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees, and we might spotlight you in a future game. A new pitcher is Yoel Payamps. It was a little bit of a slog for TJ Zoik. You see the numbers on Payamps.
We talked about it. The game plan was get into the Blue Jays bullpen early, so mission accomplished on the Yankee side here in the top of the fourth.
Driven into left center. Grichuk runs it down. You know, we talked yesterday, David, about what would happen if the 1986 Mets played the 1998 Yankees. Darryl Strawberry always said that the 86 Mets would win, and we go back and forth about it, but the people at Stratomatic Baseball, they were listening to the broadcast last night, and they actually did a simulation of the entire World Series, and the Yankees won that series in 6 games. Now, unfortunately, you got one of the losses in the series, which is not indicative of how great you are in postseason play, but you were on the winning team.
Did I argue with the umpire and let a couple runners score or something like that? Or
I don't know if the simulation went that deep. But I think El Duque won Game 6. O'Neill had a home run, but pretty nice of them to run it.
I'll take El Duque on the mound in a Game 6 anytime.
What made him so good in big games?
You know, I think it was his style. There was a mystique about him. You know, the leg kick, the changing of arm angles, the fearlessness on the mound. There's just for a pitcher, the best weapon you can have is mystery. You keep the hitters on the defense. You don't know what's coming next. Is he going to drop down? What trick is he going to pull out? The minute you lose a little bit of that mystery, you lose an edge. That's why hitters want to know what pitch is coming. The sign stealing saga. It's a big deal for a hitter if he knows what's coming. And with El Duque, boy, he was impossible to predict. Impossible to read.
Off the glove of a diving Tellez, and then the throw from Simeon gets past Payamps, and LeMahieu will reach. And the sloppiness continues for Toronto.
It's one of those situations where Tellez is a first baseman, but first baseman, he didn't need to really dive for that. The second baseman's right there, so there's an awareness on the field of where your defenders are. Where's my help? Because for a pitcher to get over there and cover is a difficult play, especially with that long of a throw.
Waiting on how that was scored. It is a base hit for LeMahieu. One and one. Judge infield single in the first, struck out with the bases loaded and just one out in the second. 3-1.
You like the powder bill on the hats, the Blue Jay hats, Michael?
I don't know if I like that, but I do like the uniform.
Yeah, they're nice looking unis. I like the old white ones. I used when I played in Toronto. We had the white. The bill was blue, but the upper part was white. Kind of like a truck driver's hat style.
What were those? Van Ness?
Yes.
Remember those?
Yes.
So first and second, and that'll bring up Gleyber Torres. And Torres is being pinch hit for by Rougned Odor. So now we have to wait. What's up with Gleyber Torres?
Well, we do have Meredith Marakovits there on site, so if there's something to be known, she will find it out.
And they'll simply move Wade over to short now and have Odor play second. 1-0.
We did see him dive on that double play attempt that Wade kind of rushed on the throw.
Two and one, change outside.
The thing about Rougned Odor, Michael, and even in his years in Texas, when he gets good pitches to hit, he usually puts a good swing on it. The flip side of that is when he tends to chase a lot. That's why he's been a low on-base percentage guy.
You know, I was going to say, even when he gets a bad pitch to hit, he also puts a good swing on it.
Yes.
But he's got power. And when he connects, it goes. Popped him up. Bichette puts it away. 2 down. So here's Stanton. He walked and singled and scored on Urshela's home run. Boy, Aaron Boone had a great line in the postgame yesterday. Somebody asked him, in a situation in the 9th inning, the game's on the line, second and third, nobody out, is your heart beating really fast? He said, no, no, no. I have a pacemaker. I'm good. Everything's nice and steady.
That is good. That was a bit of a scare for the entire organization earlier this year when, out of nowhere, he had to go have that procedure done.
Oh and 1 on Stanton.
Oh, the joys of hearing hecklers, Michael. I missed that in the game.
Something about a minor league park that brings out the sound more.
There's always that one guy with the booming voice.
One and two. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strikes. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Might have happened with Glaber. What do you see there, David?
Well, I see his spike kind of got caught, and that might have made him fall on his wrist with all of his weight. As after he gets back up, he's looking at his hand and his wrist. So just speculating, obviously, trying to read the tea leaves. It doesn't look like he's limping there. We'll wait to see, but he did fall awkwardly, and a lot of times that's when you brace yourself with your hand and all your body weight, that sometimes you can do a little damage that way.
So the clubhouses are beyond the outfield wall in right center. That's where he's walking with the athletic trainer. Grounded to third. Urshela gobbles it up. 1 pitch, 1 out as retire Grichuk. So Wade does move to short, and Odor takes over at second.
I'm reading through your book, Michael. You know, in between innings, I sneak looks at it, you know, center stage. And I know you are legendary for your preparation on all your subjects. There is one I got to ask you about.
Okay.
How do you prepare to interview Snoop Dogg? Where do you go? Where's your sources?
You know what? We have such a good group behind us that they send me about, for each guest, 700 to 800 pages of research. Everything that's ever been written. And Snoop Dogg was great. He really was. But I found out something a week ago that's not even in the book about one of our guests. So Mike Tyson was on. And at varying times during the interview, David, weeping uncontrollably, laughing hysterically, and then getting sad and happy. At times I thought he was going to hit me. I mean, it was very raw and visceral. I found out about a week and a half ago that the show airs on Yes, and Spike Lee is watching. Grounded. Oh, what a play by Urshela. Throw to first. Got him. A 1-2-3 inning. What a play by Gio Urshela. You're going to have to wait for the next inning to hear that story. But what a play by the Yankee third baseman. Backs have 23 straight road losses. That's the longest in Major League Baseball since 1900. Alex Bregman placed on the 10-day IL, left quad strain. And the A's, who are coming into town tomorrow, have a 12-2 record in June. Now, what's happening in baseball with the Diamondbacks and also the Orioles, I think, David, it's the curse of the no-hitter. And I'll tell you why. It's Gary Sanchez grounds to short. So the Diamondbacks' last road victory was Madison Bumgarner's unofficial no-hitter in Atlanta. They've not won a game on the road since. Now the Orioles have lost 19 straight road games, and they're in Cleveland today, and that's tied for 5th on the all-time list. Their last road win was John Means' no-hitter in Seattle on May 5th. Now the Yankees didn't suffer that fate with Corey Kluber, but unfortunately they lost Corey Kluber.
You got me thinking now.
You still thinking about the play this guy made? What a throw to get a throw off like that.
Gio is the player of the game so far. A lot of action. I mean, the backhand, but the throw in midair, in the jump throw, and then end up sitting like that. Little style points.
All right, just finishing up on the Tyson story. So that show airs, and the people that were in the studio audience, it's the type of show you're sitting on the edge of your seat. You just don't know what he's going to say and what he's going to do. Spike Lee is watching at home when it airs. The show ends. He picks up the phone. He calls up Mike Tyson and said, "That's a one-man show on Broadway." And he turned it into the Mike Tyson one-man show, which was a great show on Broadway, and he also does a residency in Las Vegas, all from that center stage interview with Mike Tyson, and that's in the book, which is on sale now. Two and two on Urshela. still a little angry that, you know, Spike couldn't have cut me in, you know, give me some Broadway time.
I knew you were thinking that.
Why did it have to be one man? Could it have been two?
It's always the guy who clears the path in the jungle with the machete that doesn't get paid. It's the people that walk in behind him that get the benefit.
I'm the machete guy.
You were the machete guy.
And I got a piece of Chad Fairchild.
No matter how much equipment you wear, somehow, some way, the ball always finds where the equipment isn't.
Still 3-2 on Gio. A double and a 2-run home run. Scored 2 runs. Yoel Piamps deals. Fouled away. Not too many pitchers have put away pitches anymore.
Well, you know, you should have a formula. And, you know, for me, it was always a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed batter. When I got ahead, I knew exactly what my number 1 option was, what my number 2 option was.
He puts it away finally as Urshela swings through a fastball. 2 down. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to Yankee Stadium. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. And that is going to do it with the left-handed Gardner coming up. Piamp's night is done. Montoyo takes the ball. We'll call on a left-hander. 2 outs, nobody on in the 5th. Game show with a complete recap of Game 6 between the Nets and the Bucks. That's tonight, streaming live on the Yes app and then following the Yankees postgame on Yes. So the Nets could close it out tonight, or there could be a Game 7 Saturday night in Brooklyn. What a performance by Kevin Durant. Game 5, he played all 48 minutes of the game, scored 49 points, had a triple-double, pretty much carried the team over the finish line, and they lead in that series 3-2. Taylor Saucedo, his major league debut right now. This is what he's done in AAA this year, 10 games. He has 21 strikeouts and 16 1/3 innings pitched, just 2 walks.
That's how you get to the big leagues. Those numbers right there.
Miss low. So 2-0 on Gardner. High fly ball. Right center. Grichuk is there, and that'll do it. Yankees go down in order. We're halfway through. Yankees 3, Blue Jays 2. What Cy Young winner and former Yankee is the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Sahlen Field? Remember, it's a AAA ballpark when the Blue Jays are not there. That one's hard. And he's still pitching professionally. All right, so Michael King has a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Blue Jays. Here's Rowdy Tellez. 0-1. 4 pitches in the 4th inning. It's the third 4-pitch inning by a Yankee this season. All of them have been by King, and he also had an immaculate inning, so he's had some pretty decent innings. David, you can look at him and see it's there. I mean, he just has to refine it, right?
Absolutely. His fastball moves all over the place. You know, as you said, and you said it very well earlier, it's figuring out, when I do get ahead, what are my best weapons? How do I go about this? You know, for me, I think in his mind, his best secondary pitch is his changeup. As you see Lucas Lidke getting going, who's been so reliable for the Yankees this year. I like his curveball, especially to right-handed batters.
LeMahieu flips the King. 1 away. You might be wondering, why is Litke warming up? He's pitching well, low pitch count, because Yankees have an aversion to some of their pitchers going third time through the order, and we're about to see that. So you almost would guess that if either Espinal or McGuire get on, that would be it. You know, one thing that Theo Epstein, who's working with Major League Baseball to improve the game and make it more exciting, he said if you cut down on the amount of pitchers that a team can carry, teams will be forced to let a pitcher work third time through the order.
Well, that is one of the biggest changes we've seen in the game over the last 20 years, is all the extra players are in the bullpen.
What would you say would be a fair number, David? 12, 11?
It's an interesting question. I'm not sure that I can give you the right answer, but it is worth a discussion and finding the right balance.
And you almost have to retrain pitchers as well, because they're coming up through the minor leagues and they don't get to throw 7 or 8 innings down there. Ground ball is short, backhanded by Wade, throw to first, and it pulls LeMahieu off the bag, so Espinal will reach.
So give us a good look. Espinal can run. I'm not sure if a good throw would have had him or not.
And just as we surmised, one man gets on, one man leaves, as Boone will signal for Litke with McGuire due up. And that's likely King's best performance as a starter since taking over Kluver's spot. Litke comes on. Cam. Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, talks with a guy who could be his tight end. And he throws out the first pitch today. Now, what an arm, right? Bounced it. But he is beloved in Buffalo. What a outstanding quarterback, and great things are expected from the Bills this year.
It's a big dude.
He is big. And here's Lucas Litke.
Those Bills games look like so much fun. I mean, you talk about some incredible fans. I didn't play minor league baseball at Sahlen Field, but I did play at Old War Memorial Stadium. That was quite a place. It's a place where they filmed The Natural, the movie The Natural, at Old War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo. Incredible, the big light tower. Short porch in right field.
Hobbs hit that light tower, right?
Yes, light tower power.
There's McGuire against Litke. And there's a tie between Josh Allen and Litke, because Litke's good buddy that he grew up with, Emmanuel Sanders, is somebody that Allen's going to be throwing to. And Sanders and Litke are really close. Did you sense, David, that King was startled to be taken out?
No, you're not happy.
Yeah.
And that's the way. That's what you want. You like that reaction. He expects more. Definitely a step forward for Michael King tonight, though. He did his job. Triple play in the first inning really helped.
One and one. High fly ball, left field and deep, going back to Andujar on the track, and can't make the play. He retrieves. Moving to third is Espinal. Moving to second is McGuire. It's a double, second and third with one man out.
Well, left-handed batter, the ball is going to slice off of his bat the other way, and that's exactly what happened. As you see, Andujar runs back, and the ball slices away from him. Gets the glove on it, but can't hang on. That just comes with experience. When you know that the ball's going to slice away from you off the bat of a left-handed batter.
Pitch to Simeon is inside 1-0. And that scored an E7. No, it's not something you'd argue on, but that's not an easy play. I mean, as you said, off a left-handed bat, it's moving away from him. And it's not like he dropped the ball and it was right in his glove. That's an unusual scoring.
Had to cover a lot of ground.
I mean, does Barry Bonds in his prime make the play? Yes, but you're not grading him against that. Grounded to short. That's going to tie the game. Wade to first. And scoring is Espinal. It's 3-3.
It's the right alignment and the right play, even though you allow the tying run to score. Trying to get outs and stay away from a big inning here.
There's Bo Bichette, runner at second, two men out. Right in on the hands and fouled away.
Looks like you got Gary, too, on the backswing.
I think he did that yesterday as well.
Another look. Little love tap.
The 0-1 upstairs, 1-1.
Only 59 at-bats, but yes. Bo Bichette likes facing lefties. Well, don't get cheated.
Would that tick you off if a batter did that when you were pitching to him?
The game's different nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It would have ticked off Bob Gibson, I'll tell you that. Nolan Ryan? Nah. That wouldn't play.
Big swing and a strikeout, so he ended up winning that battle. But a run for the Blue Jays. They tie the score. They leave one. Cy Young winner and former Yankees, the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter at Sahlen Field. Now, the clue was he's still pitching professionally, so yes. I think it's Bartolo Colon.
The big sexy.
Yep. Did it in '97 with the Buffalo Bisons. He's still pitching. 2021 with Acereros de Monclova in Mexico. Was he 48, I think?
Yeah, oh yeah. Something like that.
Good for him. They changed the E7 on Andujar to a double, which I think is the correct scoring. And it makes it an earned run, though. Count 1-1. When we get word on Torres' low back stiffness, he's going to be further evaluated tomorrow. Castro warming up.
It looked like his spike caught, and he kind of went down in an unusual manner, shall we say. I thought at first maybe his knee. It looked like his knee buckled a little bit.
2-1.
Kind of see how that spike caught in a funny angle and the way he went down.
Two and two on Andujar. Another foul ball. And Duhar tonight reached on an E1 and a fly ball to right. And Duhar, Wade, and back to the top, LeMahieu for the Yankees in the 6th.
Was Bill Parcells in your interview like you expected him to be?
Yeah, he was the only person out of 240 guests that asked for the questions.
Okay.
And we said that we don't do that. But you know, coaches are controlling. They want to know what's coming. They don't like surprises. But he was great. And in that interview, as Andujar down looking, we asked him 3 times if he was ever going to coach again. Never. Absolutely never. No chance. 2 months after the show ends or airs, he took the Cowboy job.
Well,
oh, that looked outside, huh?
Yeah, that pitch was never a strike.
Wow.
Not even close.
Wade swings and misses.
Got a feeling that Bill Parcells would not be a fan of analytics.
I think he'd like information, though. He just wouldn't want somebody to tell him how to coach.
Right. You have the famous line, you know, we are what our record says we are, or something to that effect.
He's a huge baseball fan, David. He's pretty close with Tony La Russa. Right back to Saucedo. Almost threw it away. 2 down. Major league debut for the left-hander. So far, so good. 3 up, 3 down. Here's LeMahieu. And he will not face DJ. And that is a smile of relief. Worked his whole life for this. Finally got it and didn't give up a hit. After an 8-game, 3-city road trip, the Yankees are finally back in the Bronx to kick off a weekend set against the Oakland Athletics. Coverage starts at 6 with batting practice and then the pregame. Then first pitch is a little after 7 right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Yankee Stadium opens up to 100% capacity. Opening day 2.0. Looking forward to being here. with you. Anthony Castro takes over for the Blue Jays. That one missed low.
The Oakland Athletics. Broke my heart, Michael. Used to be the Kansas City Athletics.
That's right.
Philadelphia Athletics before that.
But if they never left, you would have never gotten the Royals.
This is true.
How old were you when they left?
I was, just a toddler. I mean, very young, but, certainly knew about them, heard a lot about Charlie Finley.
I bet you Ed Cohn wasn't happy when they left.
There's a good story there. Charlie Finley ran a promo for one of the Kansas City A's games, and Ed Cohn won the promo and won a goat, an actual goat.
Really?
Yes. And so I wanted to take the goat home. I was like, yeah, let's bring this thing home. But Ed said no. They sold it back. He said, I think he got $50 for the goat or something. But
wow,
it's a great story. Kansas City A's.
Right field, dunks in front of Biggio, a base hit for LeMahieu. So another multi-hit game for DJ.
Classic DJ inside-out swing. But yeah, those are the kind of promos that Charlie Finley ran back then. Lottery ticket, you're gonna win this goat. Now goat means a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Now it's a good thing.
Here's Aaron Judge, 1 for 2 with a walk. A lot of movement on that pitch, outside, 1-0. Tuesday, the Yankees rallied for 2 runs to tie the game in the 7th inning against Castro. Good pitch for a strike. Castro was called up April 14th. That's when Julian Merriweather, who was dominant as the closer, went on the IL with a left oblique strain. Still there. They have not gotten him back. Another good pitch, 1-2. Goes upstairs.
Well, if you would have told me, Michael, after watching the first inning of this game that we'd be in the 6th and it's 3-3, I would say no way. But here we are.
Swing and a miss. Judge strikes out to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 3-3. Moment, visit your Tri-State Audi dealer and experience the fully electric Audi e-tron today. First inning. There's one. There's two. And there's a triple play. Yeah, if you're a pitcher, you like it, that's for sure. As that one is rifled through the left side of the infield, a base hit for Guerrero. And when that triple play was finished, the Yankees became the first team in the history of Major League Baseball to have 2 triple plays in one season. So Randall Grichuk will come up and have a little conference on the mound to talk about things. Now you always notice music, David. Every time he's come up, his walk-up music is "You Can Call Me Al."
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together.
Maybe that's his nickname, Randall. We see Chad Green getting hot, and he gets the call from Boone. That'll do it for Litke. He leaves with a runner on first base, nobody out in the bottom of the 6th of a 3-3 game. Episode of the great podcast Curtain Call, and hear from former Yankee Bucky Dent on his legendary 1978 playoff home run against the Red Sox, his memories playing alongside Thurman Munson, and his time as a Yankees manager. Download and listen now wherever you get your podcasts. I want to clean something up. That's the first time the Yankees have ever had 2 triple plays in a season. Not the first time ever. So it's the first time in the long history of the Yankees they've ever had 2 triple plays in an inning. Chad Green takes over. So he's the 3rd Yankee pitcher. Michael King started. He pitched 1 out into the 5th. Litke came on. And now Chad Green inherits a runner at first base and nobody out. So Grichuk, who is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to 3rd. He digs in. Green deals. That one's in the dirt. Swung on and missed. 0-1 as Guerrero stays put at first. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-3 game. Another one in the dirt. So with a good fastball as his calling card, he's thrown 2 curveballs to start off this appearance. Off the glove of Sanchez as Guerrero will lope into second.
It's another curveball. This one stays up and on by.
Although it's high, it's got to be a pass ball, right?
Hit glove. It hit the glove. It
Yeah.
didn't hit the dirt. So yeah, and you know the fact that Gary's down on one knee, you know, but certainly he'll tell you after the game he should have caught that.
So that puts the go-ahead run in scoring position. That one is grounded through for a base hit. Guerrero rounds third. He's coming home. The throw comes into second. It's an RBI single for Grichuk, and the Blue Jays take a 4-3 lead.
On the next pitch, up and away, and Grichuk has always been a good fastball hitter. Sends it right back up the box, and Guerrero Jr. with the go-ahead run.
High drive, right field. Going back, Judge on the track, leaps, and he makes the play. What a play by Judge. Getting back to first is Grichuk. He took a 2-run home run away from Kevin Biggio.
What an incredible play, Michael. Perfectly timed. Way over the wall, snatching it and pulling it back in. Goodness gracious, what a great play. He thinks he got it. Everybody else thinks he got it. He's already breaking it down. But yeah, you was robbed.
Boy, he had some ups there.
Wow, 6'7". You know, you've been waiting to see him. He's always had the ability to make that play. He's a tremendous athlete. He needed all of that athleticism and all of that height to make that play.
Look at that. What is that? He's jumping 3 feet?
His head's above the rim. Yeah, the head's above the rim on that.
One, 1-2 on Gurriel.
Just got a correction from Ed Cohn, Michael. He said it was an Angora goat. He sold it for $100, not $50.
All right.
On Farmer's Night.
Ground ball is short, bobbled. They get the force at second. That's all they get. What's the difference between a goat and an Angora goat?
Angora goat cost $100. They sold it for $100. You can see there Tyler Wade's little bit of a bobble, but still, nonetheless, nice play. Troy Benjamin tells us that that's how they produce mohair, the Angora goat.
Well, our producer Troy Benjamin would know that. He buys high-end clothing.
He's a style master.
Yeah, he really is. Let's just say he's not saving any money. He's just spending it all on clothes.
I was only about 4 years old, I think. There you
That
go.
the goat?
It's an Angora goat. That's kind of what it looked like, yeah. From what I remember as a 4 or 5 year old.
And you wanted it to stay home?
Yeah, let's bring it home, put it in the backyard. Joan Cohn said, no, we'll take the $100. That was Charlie Finley. Those kind of promotions he did. Farmers Night at Old Municipal Stadium in Kansas City.
Two and two on Tellez. Two. Still 2 and 2. Well, this is the first lead the Blue Jays have had in this game. They're up 4-3. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. But the Yankees have made their way into the Blue Jay bullpen. We'll see how that works out. Swing and a miss, high breaking ball. And Tellez down on strikes. Well, there's the Angora goat. Now, there's the Yankees. Aaron Judge, the goat. Oh, he's pretty good, though. So the Forbes Sports Money, as Bob Lorenz and Mike Ozanian reveal the world's highest earning athletes, plus an exclusive interview with New York Yankees president Randy Levine. That's tomorrow night at 11 after Yankees A's coverage right here on Yes. I'm always interested to hear what Randy has to say, so I'll be watching.
Yes, it's a great show.
Pitch outside from Castro as we start the 7th. Odor, Stanton, and Sanchez, 3, 4, and 5 in the Yankees order. Odor pinch hit for Torres in the 4th inning. Torres spikes gave out. I'll play in the field, and they say his back, lower back, a little stiff. They'll examine further tomorrow when they get to New York.
Spectrum Mobile. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Just $45.
Two and one. And his only at bat popped up to short. Grounded and under the glove of Simeon into right field, a base hit for Odor.
Almost seems odd, right, Michael, to see a ground ball from a left-handed batter actually get through. These are the type of batted balls that have been turned into outs regularly because of the shift. Not this one.
Runner at first, nobody out. Yankees down by 1. Here's Stanton. Stanton 1 for 2 with a walk. Pitch inside, 1-0. Yankees going for a series sweep. In their previous 9 opportunities to do that this year, just 2 wins against the Tigers and the White Sox. They lost the other 7. Pitch right there, he swings through it, 1-1. Driven deep to right field. That ball is gone. See ya. A 2-run home run the other way. And the Yankees retake the lead 5-4.
What a tremendous momentum swing from Aaron Judge, robbing the Blue Jays of a 2-run homer, and then Giancarlo Stanton in the next inning hitting a 2-run homer. Complete reversal.
His 13th home run of the year. Now has 35 ribbies. Here's Sanchez, crowd chanting, "Let's go Yankees." He's been a pro-Yankee crowd for 3 days in Buffalo. Kind of tough for the Blue Jays to have their home games in a territory that is really, truly Yankee territory. It always has been. 1-1.
Right down the middle. Stanton thinking that way, and yeah, I know how you feel. The genuine expression of a young pitcher after he knows he just gave up a homer.
That one is ripped to left and foul. That is Stanton's 325th career home run. So he moves into a tie with Willie Horton and Jermaine Dye for 115th on the all-time big league home run list. Now the Yankees have a lead going into the 9th inning. It's not going to be Chapman who closes. It would probably be Britton, because Chapman has pitched 2 days in a row, and yesterday was certainly a lot of stress in getting that save. Two-two. Lined into center field. It's a base hit for Gary Sanchez. His first hit of the night. We told you in the last inning, you get into the Blue Jay bullpen, you got a chance. They have really, really struggled. All right, so Gio Urshela had a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning. We take a look at the exit velo on that. Presented by Spectrum Mobile. Go to SpectrumMobile.com today. 104.8 off the bat. Traveled 424 feet into a park. And the race is on. So Gio is 2 for 3, a double, that home run, and a strikeout. Grounded and through for a base hit, his 3rd hit of the night. As Sanchez moves to second. Still nobody out for the Yankees in the 7th. And Charlie Montoyo has seen this show before. So he's seen enough of Castro, and that will do it for the 26-year-old right-hander. Tim Mayza warming up. The lefty will come in to face Brett Gardner. Yankees have 2 in, 2 on, nobody out, and a 1-run lead. Welcome to New York. The world's greatest city is now open thanks to vaccines and the resilience of New Yorkers. The city is ready for you. Just like the Yankees, it's time to come out and play. Be sure to hashtag your photos with Now York if you're at the stadium out in the Bronx or elsewhere across the 5 boroughs as we get back out there. Tim Mayza takes over. This will be his 28th game. Told you about their bullpen. So 3.11 first 40 games. That was good for 4th in the majors, but in the last 27, it's bloated up to 5.03, which is 26th in the majors. Injuries have really derailed the bullpen. Merriweather's a huge loss. So Gardner 1 for 3. First and second for the Yankees, nobody out. Meza on to face the bottom of the order, starting with Gardner. The old inside move, chasing Sanchez back. Shows bunt. It's a ball as McGuire drops it. 1-0. So he goes out and tosses. I wonder if he was crossed up.
Quite possibly. It's a good question. And it's not a bad idea. Yeah, he definitely was crossed up there, Michael. He's set up right there with the glove, and watch how late the reaction is. He's looking for the ball to break like a slider, and it doesn't. Barely gets any leather on it. But for Brett Gardner facing the lefty, Meza, not a bad idea here. First and second. Put some pressure on the defense. You see even the threat of a bunt gets the whole infield moving around a little bit.
And there's the bunt. The out is made at first, so a sacrifice. It scored 2-4 as Simeon took the throw. And the Yankees have runners on second and third with one man out.
Love the play, well executed by Gardner. Actually, if he gets us out there a little further, he can beat that out. But mission accomplished.
Well, the Blue Jays have to bring the infield in with one out. They're already trailing by one. And it'll be Meza against Miguel Andujar. Chop slowly. And they get him. Wow. Never thought they'd get him, and they do, and the runner stays put at third.
Well, I'm with you, Michael. Mays is the only one who can make this play. The swinging butt from Andujar. That's a fantastic play.
Well, Meza has to stay in for three. Due up is Wade. Now, the Yankees have a little bit of a shortened bench. There's ways you can do this if you send up Frazier. You could have Frazier go to left and Duhar move to third base. You could have Urshela move to short, and that would be how it's done. But they're not sending Frazier up. They're sending Gittins up.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, now you can play with LeMahieu and move him to second, and then I guess have Odor play shortstop.
Or move DJ to third. I mean, you have some options.
DJ to third, yep.
Gio to...
And Urshela moves to short.
Right.
That's probably the thing they'll do because Odor's not really a shortstop, as Walker goes over how to pitch the Gittins. It is kind of odd, though, because Frazier delivered a big pinch hit off the bench and drove in the game-winning run. But you're going to go with Gittins, who has a lot of swing and miss ability there, too. Interesting take by Aaron Boone.
Probably likes this defensive alignment a little better. Moving forward with a one-run lead. But you're right, it's certainly debatable and an interesting discussion.
And the defense probably does play in, as you said, because Andujar hasn't played third much at all. You'd be putting him in a tough situation in a close game. But the most important thing is getting a hit here. So who has the best chance of getting a hit?
Getting a hit, but you do have a one-run lead.
Yep. Wade was 0 for 3 tonight. The 1-0 to Gittins, way outside. Now Gittins got his first big league hit in this series, and it was a beauty. Almost a highway blast. The 2-0. That is not a strike, but it's called a strike. 2-1.
So many variables involved in the strike zone. The count matters. 2-0 or 0-2 matters on whether that was called a strike.
Well, that's definitely a ball hoop. 3-1. On deck is LeMahieu. If Gittins works a walk, that would load the bases. Big cut, fouled away, 3-2. And that's a base hit to right field by Gittins. Cut off in the gap by Biggio. 2-run score. A big pinch hit. 2-run single for Chris Gittins as Boone pushes the right button and the Yankees lead 7-4.
Man, you gotta love the approach this whole at bat from Gittins. Had a really good 3-1 swing, worked the count in his favor. Boy, staying on a pitch down and away and driving it. This ball is hammered. A bullet. Almost got by the right fielder. It was hit so hard.
Another pitching change as Montoyo trying to find the right arm out in that bullpen. Yankees lead by 3. The game as our Yes Studio team delivers highlights, analysis, clubhouse reaction, and the manager's report, plus a preview of this weekend series against Oakland. That's all coming up on the WB Mason postgame. You've got Bob Lorenz, Jack Curry, Buck Showalter, and Meredith Marakovitz. Big show. Now it's time for Tyler Chatwood. Well, the way the game is played now, David, it's so imperative to have a good bullpen because you're never going to get 9 innings out of a starter. And you've got to find ways to get outs, and the Blue Jays just don't have those arms out there to get outs.
Yeah, they've really been worn thin, and you mentioned the injuries as well. And the fact that they've had to play in extreme hitter-friendly environments, both in Dunedin and here in Buffalo.
Chatwood deals up and in to LeMahieu. Two and 0.
You just really have to go back to Aaron Judge's play. That just was the momentum swing in this game. Not only an incredible play, but the Yankees come around the next inning and do this.
There he is on deck. There's a ground ball to Simeon, and that'll do it. But the Yankees do their damage. Big men with big hits. First up, Giancarlo Stanton, a blistering line drive to give the Yankees a 1-run lead. Then Chris Gittens comes off the bench and laces a 2-run single into right field. The Yankees are up by 3. 11-0 for the Yanks, 4-8-2 for the Blue Jays. King pitched 1 out into the 5th. Zoik lasted 3. Big day for Gio Urshela. Big hit for Giancarlo Stanton. So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Green's still in there. And he faces Espinal and deals him a strike.
Still have some outs to get on the Yankee side.
Well, next up is going to be Jonathan Loaisiga. He's warming for the Yankees right now in their pen. So LeMahieu does move to 3rd. Urshela over to short. Gittens at 1st. So this infield alignment completely different than the one that started the game.
I think managers strut around the dugout when they push the right buttons like that.
They should.
Stick your chest out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Don Zimmer do that a few times.
got to be a good feeling. I mean, there's so many things that could go wrong, so many decisions you have to make, but when you make a high-profile one, and Boone's done it twice in this series, he's pushed the right button.
Get a little bounce in your step, yeah. Feel good about it.
Swing and a miss. High breaking ball. Espinal down on strikes.
It's not how he drew it up. Sometimes you hang him up there, you get away with it because it's higher than high. It doesn't come down.
Well, here's the catcher, the number 9 hitter, Ryan McGuire. There's Loizaga. McGuire's 2 for 2. That one's ripped to right field. Coming on Judge. He dives. He can't make the play. Ball kicks away. Retrieving it is Odor, holding Reese McGuire to a single.
Another curveball that stays up. Every time, if you're a Yankee fan, every time you see Aaron Judge dive like this, well, you got to hold your breath a little bit. That's how he hurt his ribs. A couple years ago, was it? He collapsed lung.
Yep.
Get a little nervous watching him do that. 6'7", 280, landing.
Well, that is going to do it for Green. They will call on Loizaga as the top of the order coming up for the Blue Jays. Sportsbook Nets post-game show with a complete recap of Game 6 between the Nets and the Bucks. That's tonight. It's streaming live on the Yes app and following the Yankees post-game on Yes. Blue Angels doing their thing. Called Thunder on the Buffalo waterfront this weekend. Buffalo's such a cool town.
Loved going there. I played AAA. As I said, I played at Oval War Memorial Stadium. Wow, we just loved hanging out.
I did a story when I was working for Fox Sports Net way back on Jim Kelly, and beautiful day, and we went to Jim Kelly's house, and it was an 8-hour shoot. And when we walked out of the house, there were 2.5 feet of snow on the ground in 8.5 hours. It's amazing. Pitch to Semien. Hit the short. There's one. On the first. Not in time.
Well, good effort. Boy, this would have been a highlight reel. Gio comes and gets it, and Simeon just runs too well. Yeah, playing shortstop.
Fouled away.
But that Loizaga two-seamer running in on right-handed batters has teeth. Just chewing up these hitters. When he gets it there in that location, wow.
If I were catching and he does that helicopter out of control swing and he hit me with the bat, I'd really be chapped. He's done it twice to Sanchez, and each time he apologizes, but I mean, you take a swing like that, you're going to get the catcher.
Bring the Bronx out of you, right?
I don't know, but boy, that has to annoy a catcher. Strike three. He's down looking. No runs to hit. A one man left. We go to the eighth. The telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Mysterious sky and the Hyundai scoreboard. Nothing mysterious about that. 7-11-0 for the Yanks, 4-9-2 for Toronto. Chatwood still in there, and he deals inside to Judge, 1-0. Two and 0.
You know, if we keep this up, Michael, we're going to have to go up there and go to a Bills game and tailgate.
And jump into a table?
Me and you.
All right.
We're getting all kinds of invites here.
I'll go. We could be honorary members of the Bills Mafia.
There you go.
Can we go early in the season? Because I don't know if I want to deal with like 20 below.
You don't want to wear the parkas?
I mean, I would if I had to, but. 2-1. Grounded to short. Bichette backhands. Strong throw. 1 away.
Well, apparently there is a beer up there in Buffalo. Somebody sent it to me on Twitter. It's called the Legend of Conehead.
Wow.
Yes, I got to get some of that. And there's this legendary usher there who wears a conehead around, and the beer's after him. There's actually a conehead usher in Buffalo. Legend.
Is that where Andrew Levy got the idea, or was it from SNL?
Andrew got it from SNL.
Pitch is high.
Shows you the history there. There's so many characters there. Buffalo, you know, the long history of baseball there.
But you have to stock your fridge with that so people will think it's your beer.
I gotta have that beer now. I gotta have it.
Guests come over, you serve that. That's big league. Odor singled to start the 7th, and he was on base when Stanton hit the opposite field home run to give the Yankees a lead, and then Giddens with the 2-run pinch hit single made it a 3-run lead. They're up 7-4. Well, Odor thought that was ball 4. There you go. And it's 0 gravity, too.
Who knew? I'm a 0 gravity kind of guy, so that works.
I've seen that side of you. Chased ball 4. Count 3-2.
I'm told the Conehead's in the building tonight. He's a beer vendor, not an usher. So he's there.
Wow. Time called at the last moment. When that happened to you, did you deliver or did you hold on?
I tried to hold on.
Because you didn't want to give your pitch away?
Well, that's part of it too, but you know, you don't want to do something different because you know sometimes that's how when you get injured, when you do something out of the ordinary, you might land on, you know, awkwardly.
Deep drive into right center, but Grichuk is going to be there. He runs it down for the second out. Time now for a word from the Home Depot.
Make your smartest play of the day and download the Home Depot mobile app. Our digital toolbox helps make your job easier, save time, and get more done.
2 outs, top of the 8th inning. Yankees 7 and Toronto 4. And here is Giancarlo Stanton. 2 for 3 tonight. 2 runs scored. He also walked. Big 2-run home run in the 7th. Put the Yankees ahead. He's starting to feel like he felt when he was in that 12-game streak where they couldn't get him out. He seems like he's on everything. He's taking pitches very well.
Yeah, that blistering home run hit to right field is a good sign.
And also, when he's locked in, I don't know if you see the same thing. His face is so tranquil when he's at the plate. Doesn't betray any emotion or stress or tenseness at all. It's just like he's sitting on a park bench. Now not as tranquil.
No, that got his attention.
hammered right at Bichette. Has time, and that'll do it for the Yankees against Chatwood as he retires them in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, 7-4 Yanks. Yankees lead 7-4. Loizaga still in there to pitch the 8th.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I saw on Twitter. There's 2 different Conehead beers, but that one's the legend of the cone. And that's the guy. That's the famous, for 40 years, the beer vendor.
And his saying is, you get a warm beer from me, you get it for free.
Nice. Local legend right there. I got to meet that guy.
Guerrero takes a strike. Popped him up. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Gittins on the run, and he makes the play. Randall Grichuk, 1 for 3, an RBI single. 0-1. Beasley heating up. Strikeout, ground ball to third, RBI single to center. Gives him the low strike call. And now Zach Britton, who we figured would be the closer today, with Chapman not available after pitching 2 straight, he's warming up. Nubbed first base side, and it hit the foul line, and then he tags Grichuk, but it was a foul ball. When he picked it up, it was foul, but it did kick toward fair territory on the chalk.
A good-looking slider from Loizaga, and you're right. He tries to get to it, just foul. Until it gets to first base, that's the home plate umpire's call.
Shattered bat, ground ball to LeMahieu. Over to Gittins, he can't scoop it up, and Grichuk will reach.
Well, first things first, 99 miles an hour is an incredible saw job. You see the barrel of the bat goes farther than the ball. DJ tries to do the best he can on the one hop, and Gittins cannot quite scoop it.
So here's Kevin Biggio. 100 miles an hour on the corner.
With movement.
David, correct me if you think I'm wrong. I think his stuff translates into starter.
That's what they've always thought about him. The question was health. He had a lot of health issues with his arm throughout the developmental years coming up through the minor leagues.
I mean, you can see him closing or starting. He's got that sort of stuff.
He showed all 3 pitches tonight. A good changeup in the low 90s.
Boy, 100 miles an hour. And it's so easy. It's easy gas.
He settled into a predominantly two-seam grip. Almost unfair when you can throw it that hard with that kind of movement.
Strike 3. Outside corner at 100 miles an hour. Biggio down.
We'll give Gary Sanchez credit too in the late movement, even though it shows that it's just off the plate. Gary does a good job on the frame. And 100 miles an hour with a two-seam grip is devastating.
Swing and a miss. 99 with some sink.
That's the thing about two-seamers. That no two pitches look the same. One will run, another one will sink.
And that got Sanchez. Gurriel joking with him, and a quick check of Sanchez. On the thigh where it's not covered, just above the knee.
On the thigh and the side too. Looked like a double shot. Hit the It's got Bichette hitting him in the head with his bat on the backswing. I'd like to see him get his right hand out of the way when the ball's on the way from Loizaga.
Missed inside, 1-2.
Sometimes catchers forget. You can see him right there, kind of at the last minute, pull his right hand back.
Swing and a miss. Domination by Jonathan Loizaga. No runs a hit and one man left. We go to the ninth. 7-4 Yanks. As we go to the ninth inning, looking to sweep this series, and they will face Jeremy Beasley in the ninth, and Beasley, the seventh pitcher used by the Blue Jays. So it'll be Sanchez, Urshela, and Gardner. Now, we've seen Loizaga all year, and he's so impressive, but that was some good pitching in the eighth inning.
Yeah, that was his A game. And he mixed all three pitches in. He finished with a slider there that was wicked. That low strike that was called was a 91-mile-an-hour changeup, too. So you're right, Michael. 3 pitches from Loizaga tonight. All of them high quality.
So Beasley against Sanchez. Sanchez 1 for 4. One and 0. There's a strike. It's funny how the game has changed. So Beasley just threw 96. And you're sitting here going, oh, that's nice. It's just, it doesn't knock you out anymore.
Slightly above average.
Yeah.
The average major league fastball nowadays on all pitchers, starters and relievers, probably 94-ish in that range.
Three and 1. 4 runs by the Yankees in the 7th inning. That's the difference. Turned a 4-3 deficit into a 7-4 lead. And he walks Sanchez on 5 pitches. And here's Urshela, a big-time game for him. As I will now annoy the great information guru of Yes, James Smythe, and say he's a triple short of the cycle.
Triple would be nice. Homer would be better if you're a Yankee fan.
You're anti-cycle. You really have been for a while.
Not anti-cycle, just it's an anomaly more than it is, you know, as I said, I mean, it's about total bases. It's about runs. If you're trying to win this game, a homer's better than a triple.
Deep to left. And that ball is gone. A home run. No triple. A home run. A 2-run shot. His second homer of the game, and the Yankees lead 9-4.
Should he stop at third?
Nah. One for 17 coming into this game, and now they're going to take a look whether or not it was a fair ball. This will be a better look.
Hooking.
He's coming back.
Ooh. Okay. Yep, it disappeared, didn't it?
Yes, sir. So they'll take a look, and the umpires do this on their own. On a home run, they can ask for some clarity, and I think this is pretty cut and dried. The left side of the pole. Oh, so close.
Wide left in Buffalo instead of wide right.
Now you just angered your new friends. Come on back. Gittins in that dugout right now saying, I know how you feel. So the quest for the cycle still alive, David.
Yes, go ahead, hit a triple now.
So runner on first, and the pitch. Gets away, but Sanchez stays put.
Too soon for that joke, Michael, you think?
I don't think it's ever going to be the right time.
Too much? Too soon?
Too much for sure. We were talking about Bill Parcells earlier. I think he likes it. 1-2. 2-2. Fouled away. Now only 11 Yankees in history have hit for the cycle. They've done it 15 times. Bob Musial did it 3 times. Joe DiMaggio 2 times. Lou Gehrig 2 times. 2-2. 3-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, got him.
'97 up and in. Oh, so close.
So here's Gardner. Britton continuing to throw in the Yankee bullpen. One 1-0. 2-0. Three and 0 from Beasley. Yankees up by 3. Sanchez on first. There's a strike, 3-1.
Gardner looked like he was thinking about swinging there on 3-0.
Ball 4. As Sanchez moves to second base.
You can almost see the pain on Charlie Montoya's face there with that last shot. I mean, he kind of wears his heart on his sleeve. So well respected in the game. Talk about somebody who paid his dues and finally got an opportunity.
Here's Andujar. He's 0 for 4. One and 0. And that one gets past McGuire as the runners move up. I mean, if I was the official scorer, that might be a pass ball. Got his glove on it.
Just a little bit outside.
Yeah, but I think he'd expect to catch it. Caught that one.
It's an adjustment.
So one pitch away from loading the bases. Infield in for Toronto. Trying to keep it at 7-4. Turned him loose on 3-0. Swings through a fastball. And he walked him to load the bases. 3 walks by Beasley. And that brings up Gittins. Gittins pinch hit for Wade in the 7th inning and really had a good at bat and laced a blistering single to right field to drive in 2. So now an opportunity to really blow this one open. Sanchez at third, Gardner at second, and Andujar at first. Strike on a slider. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Well, Beasley doesn't take much time. He gets the ball, he's ready to throw.
Throwing the fastball all over the place, and then Gittins gets up there and he paints 2 sliders.
High fly ball, right field. This should get a run in. Biggio makes the catch, tagging Sanchez. He scores. It's a sac fly for Gittins, and it's an 8-4 Yankee lead.
It's a strong approach from Chris Gittins. He's starting to impress. The more we see him being able to drive the ball the other way tonight, and his first major league hit was pulled. An absolute bomb, but you could see him stay in there and really drive it the other way. A nice piece of hitting right there to get the sac fly.
So Gardner moved to third, and Duhar stays put at first, and here is LeMahieu. Now with an official scoring change, LeMahieu lost a hit. His infield single in the fourth was changed to an E4 in the throw by Simeon, so he does not have a multi-hit game. He is 1 for 4 with a walk. Oh, 0-2. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that will do it. But the Yankees get a run. 3 walks, no hits. 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Yankees up by 4. Over drive of the game, David.
Well, Giancarlo Stanton the other way with an absolute rocket. Castro with his hands on his head. What a turnaround and a momentum swing. Giancarlo Stanton, the Land Rover drive of the game.
You know what I just thought of? His reaction to that home run was your reaction for the last out of the perfect game. How is that the same reaction for those different disparate results?
Pure emotion. Unrehearsed.
So Zach Britton will come on, try to get the final 3 outs because of the run and the sac fly by Gittins. It's not a save situation. It's a 4-run lead. This will be his 3rd game. Now here's the reaction. And he's not even waiting for Brocious to make the catch.
So real. I know I'm biased because I know that feeling, but wow.
There it is. You do know it. 2 very different pictures, but alike in a weird way. The 1-0. Grounded foul. Two and one. Well, when you think about the length of this game, and then you think about what a catcher does, that's not easy. You must be exhausted at the end of a game.
Absolutely. It's never been more difficult to be a major league catcher nowadays. You got to do that with your wristband. You got to study for the final exam. You got to catch pitchers that are throwing harder and moving all over the place.
And oh yeah, you have to hit too. That one got away. So hit by pitch to start off the ninth.
There's just no chance to get out of the way of this. I mean, that just got you. You can't go anywhere. 93 miles an hour, and you got to wear it.
So here's Espinal. Blue Jays need base runners here in the bottom of the ninth. They're down by 4. One and 0.
I don't know, a little leisurely pace, Michael. You know, I could catch up on center stage here. I'm looking up a couple chapters.
Yeah, it's got such a great pace. You're reading that book, and I'm actually writing the sequel as we speak.
So many questions, so many memories. Paul Simon got to be one of my favorites of all time. I mean, he's legend.
That was one of my favorite interviews. He was great. One of the great regrets is when Paul Simon was interviewed on center stage, the next guest, because we usually interview 2 in one day, was Bernie. And then after Paul Simon's show was over, he went into the dressing room. And he and Bernie just played guitar and told stories in the dressing room for about an hour, and we should have rolled on that. That's
yes.
A show right there. 2 and 2. Chapman getting ready. How about that?
He wants to sweep.
Ground ball to third. There's one, and that's all they'll get. It is so rare for Boone to pitch any reliever 3 games in a row, and that's what that would be for Chapman. But as you mentioned, I think it's pretty important for them to sweep this series.
They're trying to sustain some momentum here, and of course Zach Britton obviously still rounding into form after being on the IL for the majority of the season up to now.
Well, Riley Adams is pinch hitting for McGuire. This could do it. There's one on to first. It's a double play. And the Yankees sweep the Blue Jays in Buffalo. Their third sweep of the year and their first on the road, and they needed it as they will head home now after a very long road trip.
Yeah, what a game from the outset. A triple play early on. Michael King just enough with the benefit of that triple play. In the middle of this game, Aaron Judge made one of the best plays you will ever see in right field, robbing a 2-run home run. And then the next inning, Giancarlo Stanton hit a 2-run home run. So a major reversal. Yankees hold on, sweep the Blue Jays in Buffalo.
A lot of good things to go over. We'll try to encapsulate it when we get back. Then we have a big post-game show with Buck and Bob and Jack and Meredith. That's a happy Aaron Boone. We'll be back.